All right, hello, guys. And today we are writing IELTS essays. Yeah, like we in our last videos we did some, we did some just tests, C2 test, C1 test. Here we are gonna write an essay, and you're gonna see me doing that in real time. The thing is, first of all, we'll be taking, this is the website I paid for. This is the IELTS essay checker. It uses AI, some sophisticated stuff, and what I found that it's pretty fine. I mean, it is quite accurate, I would even say. I tried it on a couple of very good essays, and they scored band 9. I tried on a couple of essays of my students, and their version, their score they give is corresponds very well to the score that I give. So in my opinion, it is trustworthy, but we'll find out today. Maybe not so. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, everything's working. We'll start probably with we'll just take some essay from this website. This website, I like taking mock tests from it because it's interactive. In contrast to Cambridge stuff that you will find online. If you go here, academic official, and if you, for example, open an official IELTS book, the problem with it is that it's not interactive, right? Like you have to write everything down and then look at the answer, look at the answer sheet at the end of the book, and it's all very, very tedious. Here you can just click and it shows you where your mistakes are, and it's pretty close to what you can actually to what you will usually get at the real test, because a lot of mock tests out there on the internet, they are not even close to the realized test. Most of them are just too overthought, very, very difficult. Yeah, this is more like what real tests look like. So we'll start with, let's mock test 2025 last year. Let's see what we get here. Well, probably we need some writing. Okay, that's listening. We need some writing stuff. Writing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is writing task 1. This is... Really? Okay, well, again. Using Google. The site is not the fastest out there. Okay, so some people think... Okay, this is a discussion essay, not that complicated. Okay, well, it's quite all right, I would say. So, this is our title. Here is where we're actually writing the thing, yeah? I'm not gonna do it within 40 minutes, yeah, because I have to explain stuff to you so that you will understand it, to walk you through it, and I will use different resources like ChatGPT and Cambridge Dictionary, because I mean I could do it without it, but it's just too boring. We're not doing it in real under real test conditions. So the structure is pretty simple. We're gonna be having an intro, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and conclusion. In between body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, in body paragraph 1, we're gonna explain why we think we're gonna start with the opposite opinion. like the opinion we don't believe in, we don't agree with. Here, our opinion, we agree with. And body paragraph, at the end of body paragraph 1, we're going to explain why the opposite opinion is bad in our opinion. Yeah, again, it's pretty. Discussion essays are not, like, they are pretty tricky. They're definitely they're definitely trickier than opinion essays, which is just to agree or disagree. But nothing too complicated, and it's one of the most common essay types. So the topic is pretty clear. Very important. Like, there are no words there that might be challenging, that I don't understand. I understand every word here. First of all, we need a plan. Yeah. First of all, we need to think this topic through. Like. Well, mental strength is more important. Well, in all honesty, if I were to discuss that in a real conversation, I would say that, like, they're both important, of course. We can do that here. We can do that. But usually, when you emphasize one over the other, that is usually better and easier, like, overall. Success in sport. Like, I mean, chess is a sport. We don't need physical strength in this sport. Mental strength is more important. Okay, I'm gonna say that mental health is more important. This is our body paragraph 2, yeah? And we are gonna be doing it right in the window here. Here's the word count. On the IELTS test, you will see the same thing. Yeah, there will be a window and the word count, and nothing more than that. So how I like to do that, I like to put a plan right in the window. Then I like to write the essay, and then after that I just delete the plan and all the things that all the stuff that we don't need to trim, all unnecessary things. This is our opinion. Okay, mental health is more important. Here we will say that physical and there is a mistake that a lot of people make while writing discussion essays. They just assume that here in the body paragraph, where we are developing the opposite argument, we have to say why we disagree with it. No, you develop the argument the way a person who agrees with it might develop it. Like, you have to fully develop it, like, with explanation, like idea, with example, and then only at the end of the body paragraph you explain why you think this is not the best idea. Only at the end of it. So we'll start. That in our counter argument will be rigorous That's our counter argument. Mental health is important in any sport. Okay, now it's time to come up with examples. Yeah, and usually people do that. You know, at the can I? Okay, usually people do that right at the end. Like usually people first come up with the idea, then they explain the idea, and only then they start thinking of examples. It is much easier to develop the example first, because based on your example and how well your example is, we can think of the explanation. Like explanation is secondary to the example, and when you think of that this way, this whole essay becomes much easier. So physical strength plays a big role. I mean, that's quite obvious, right? And okay, I will write examples based on my own experience. I won't make anything up, and that's what I recommend doing always to my students, because like this way you can write a very convincing example. I did many sports. I did karate, I did chess, I did table tennis, I did swimming. I can use each of them to prove my point, but I'll go with the karate. Karatist? Is it a valid word? I'm not sure actually. Karatist. I mean, we've got karate. Yeah, we've got karate fighter. Oh, karate fighting. body mass. Like we've got a lot of mass. Whose body mass is significantly larger. Whose muscular mass, whose body mass is significant. No, like we're talking about the gym, so we have to say not like it's not the body mass. It's we have to say about like muscular strength. Whose muscular mass significantly. Okay, who has significantly more muscles? No. Okay, maybe muscle mass. That is a good question. You know what? If I were doing it, if I were doing the real thing, if I were writing the test for real, I would say that I would come up with something, safer. I would write probably who weighs much more, or who is much stronger, who is significantly, whose physical strength significantly exceeds yours. That's what I would put. But like since we're doing it for fun, mostly, we'll go to ChatGPT and we'll ask ChatGPT. Nope, you didn't hear the question. Yeah, that is fine. His muscle mass significantly larger than yours. Okay, so this is the example that will. Okay, well. Okay, yeah. So this is the example that helps to support the idea, that helps to prove that physical strength plays a big role. And always, like my advice, always look back at the title every now and then, because like you might have missed some things when you first read it. Sport. Strength, like okay, it's physical strength, specifically physical strength. Yeah, so like they could have said something like physical parameters, for example, because for example endurance is also a physical parameter, a physical characteristic, but it's not physical strength. And for example, if we're talking about jogging, yeah, like endurance probably will be more important than physical strength there. So our idea is basically physical strength is very important in the majority of sports, but mental health is important. Mental strength is important across all kinds of sports. Like jogging, you need to think how to run in the most smart way. Chess, no physical strength at all is needed, but mental strength is very, very important. In karate, mental strength is very, very important. That's the idea in a nutshell. Whose muscle mass significantly larger. Okay, we'll finish the development of this idea. We'll write an explanation. Yeah. So physical strength plays a big role. Here in the title, they say sport, which is a British version. Like in Britain, you can say sport, and it works as an uncountable noun, and it just means all sports. But in America, people say sports usually. It's a countable noun, so I'll stick to the American way. Oh, that's synonyms for like physical strength. Sorry, body weight and physical. Physically agile, agileness, agility, physical agility. Is it a word? Okay, we'll put. I'll just put some words there without thinking, without overthinking them. Then when I have like the final draft, I will think more thoroughly about them, and maybe if some of them I don't like, I will just replace them. But physical agility seems fine to me now. There isn't much to say about that, right? Like, I mean, it's just a very obvious thing that in the majority of sports, like physical agility is important. But we still have to think of that because usually the ideal length for an explanation is two sentence long. The ideal length for an example is also 2 sentences long, but we can stretch it. Like it can be 3, it can be 4 in some cases. But like more than 4 is not a good idea because we'll spend too much time doing it, planning it, and writing it in the end. Crucial in achieving success. I didn't have lunch today, so yeah, I'm compensating for that now. Okay, so where were we? A sportsman body and physical agility, blah blah blah, crucial in achieving success. Yeah. That is why. Is that? Yeah, it's the right spelling. Keeping a diet, right? And keeping a... I believe it's the right. It's the right to follow a diet. No, to keep a diet. To have a diet. I mean, I could have said to stick to a diet, but that sounds informal to me. Keeping a diet. Strict diet. We can say any sportsman's routine. Okay, you know what? Here I would remove sportsman, body weight, blah blah blah, of any sportsman's routine. Just because here it sounds slightly like here it didn't really do much. Yeah, like and here it's the right way to put it. Okay, and that's it. And that's that's body paragraph 1. Okay, well, I will write it after that. I don't wanna spend much time rereading it. I need to explain why the opposite opinion is bad. This is a very important part here. Probably I'll do it after I've developed my second body paragraph with my opinion. Okay, no, I'll develop it now. You'll see. Later I'll show how to merge all those parts together. However, without an exclusion. No. They did not say about mental health for yeah, that would be a different thing. They're just talking about mental strength. That mental strength is more important. But most of them are unimaginable without. Okay. Struggling here, but most of them are unimaginable without. Mental. Mental agility. Okay, I will just name a couple of like private. You know, like very often when we're struggling with synonyms, for example, mental strength. Yeah. What I recommend doing, I recommend finding a couple of like private cases. Like, what are mental strength? Perseverance. Perseverance. If I spell it correctly, I'm not sure, but that's fine. Perseverance. Stamina. Perseverance, stamina. Rigid. Stability. Mental stability. Perseverance, stamina. Not every sport requires, but most of them are unimaginable without a. Yeah, okay, I'm spending too much time on that. Okay, let's just put that here. Are unimaginable without perseverance, stamina, and mental ability. Yeah, this is that's it. That is a developed body paragraph 1. Okay, let's do that. Here it should be a comma. Without perseverance, stamina, and mental ability. Okay, now we need to prove that. Basically, we need to prove that point, yeah. Like that mental health is really, really important in every sport. Mental health is important in any sport. Okay. We need an example here. That is just bullshit. Is it so bad? Like, I mean, I was drinking hot milk and then I poured some tea into it. And it's just, well, I mean, it's called Ulun, I believe, yeah, or something like that. Well, definitely not my cup of tea, you know, but I mean, will do. That is fine. Well, mental health is important in any sport. Well, let's think of examples like chess, for sure. Okay, let's the example of chess and football, because like in football, you know what very often happens in football is that if your team is losing, you literally can see how the team spirit is becoming worse and worse. Like they're losing their spirit, and they don't want to fight anymore because like they already accepted the defeat. Yeah, and this is a mental issue, yeah, rather than a physical. Like they're feeling fine physically. Chess and football. I know, like that it goes in shape, like yeah, here like shape is used as an uncountable word, but like good, with good maybe we need an article in a good shape. I'm not sure about that. Okay, is there like a specific in no articles needed. In great shape and no shape and bad, good, poor shape, yeah. Uncountable. Okay. There are many chairs. probably that I would include in this sentence. Because by the time players reach the end game. Well, maybe not about football then, only about chess, but the sentence is too long. We have to find a way to split it. There is a rule on the IELTS test that in order to achieve a band 7 and higher, like at least half of your sentences have to be error-free. And the bigger you make your sentences, the more likely they are to contain a mistake. Yeah, that's why we have to split them. The most crucial for them is mental endurance. Okay, there are many great chess players who are not. Yeah, I mean that's fine. That is fine. Yeah, there are better ways to connect these two sentences and better ways to connect these two sentences. Well, maybe I should think of maybe one connector, because like they are just by now, just right now, they seem like those scattered sentences. They don't seem like there is a lot of cohesion going on between them. For them is mental endurance. Maybe eat, because like when we reference the word from the previous sentence using pronouns like it, that also counts as cohesion. The most crucial for them is endurance. Well, here this example is already, yeah, that is fine. This example proves very well that like mental strength is also important in any sport. But our goal is to prove that it's not just important, yeah? Our goal is to prove that it's more important than physical strength and physical ability. And for that, we probably need another example, maybe like some, maybe to talk about like footballers. Maybe just one sentence. Maybe, maybe the example with football is slightly better here. Well, like what I would do on the real test. On the real test, I would think of the example of chess and think of the example of football, and probably realized that football fits better our like this whole essay. It fits better because like football is a sport where you have to be in good shape, where you have to be physically strong, but you also have to be mentally prepared. I mean, just now that doesn't sound good here because like this example is not an example of that, right? So another is confusing here. Probably just also. Okay, not football. Let's say what's the soccer? Well, I mean that is fine. Like if we get a low score, I'll probably think of that. Yeah, we'll probably maybe a good idea will be to remove this whole part at once and only like write about soccer because this example is already getting out of it's getting crazy. It's too long, very long, and it shouldn't be that long. Okay, body paragraph. Mental health is important in any sport. Or maybe we can. You know what? Now that I'm drinking this tea, I realize that probably it's not that bad. Like if you add milk to a green tea, that actually gives you an interesting combination. So like oolong, there are people who love oolong tea for a good reason. Mental health is important in any sport. disciplines. Yes, sports disciplines. Right? Like, I mean, the adjective is sports. Sports disciplines. So it should be like that, right? But for a formal context, that works. Yeah, sports, types of sports, but not like, yeah, sports disciplines are, in our essay, will serve our purpose quite well. Spirit. High spirit. Don't like that. Okay, here is a thing. You need to learn some shortcuts. You know, because that happened with me many times on the IELTS test. When you accidentally click Control A, which just highlights the whole text, and then you click like backspace accidentally, or just like this letter, like any letter on the keyboard, basically it just erases the whole text. So you got to know that Control Z, the combination of Control Z, is it cancels your previous action. Like there are certain very important combinations along with Control S, which is copy, Control V, which is paste, Control A, which is highlight the whole text. You also got to learn Control Z. High spirit. I'm not sure you can write that. Like cheer up. Spirit. team spirit. In high spirits. To break someone's spirit. Yeah, I've heard this meaning maybe once. I've encountered that. Spirit them out, like to snitch. State of mind or attitude. Okay, so like basically we need that in high spirits. In higher spirits, can you say that? Oh, let's try. Well, usually with victory, like I can't say defeat, I can't say win over. Well, usually win. Not sure I can say win over. Okay, let's take a look. No, like we were saying, to win over the audience. Yeah, to win over. No, I'm not sure you can do that. To win the hearts. No, win is intransitive, I believe. Yeah, like you can say to win an opponent, to defeat an opponent. Defeat is transitive. Like it can we can use an or like it is used with an object. To defeat can take an object. Win cannot take an object. Well, maybe there are some synonyms for defeat. Like I know a very like I know to emerge victorious, we can say that, but I'm not sure it sounds formal, like just sounds old-fashioned, very literate, very literary. To beat, to informal, conquer, not in our context, to crush, informal. Okay, victory, maybe there are some expressions with the word victory. To win, to achieve a victory. Okay, to achieve a victory against. That's I like. That's I like. What's that supposed to mean? Victory for common sense. Blowout medal. Okay, to achieve a victory. This one I like. Opponent will usually achieve a victory over, I believe, yeah. Against or over, yeah. To achieve a victory over. Across all sports discipline. An opponent with high levels of motivation and determination. Will usually achieve a victory over their will usually achieve a victory. I mean, we don't. With a high level of motivation and determination, would usually achieve a victory. Surprisingly, physique. I'm not sure about the spelling of this word. Like, we're trying to use, like, you know, formal words, formal synonyms. Muscular physique, powerful physique. Small, large physique. Surprisingly, the physique. Surprisingly, and that's it. Okay, I mean that should work. That should work. Mental health is important. That is our motto. That is our like our main idea. Then we're explaining that across all disciplines that it works, and even that might work when your opponent might be physically bigger, might be physically stronger, might have a more impressive physique, but you still can win because you're more determined and more motivated. And yeah, like the example is kind of like too big, but I mean that's fine. Are not in good shape, the most crucial. Okay, now the thing that is left is an intro and a conclusion. Introduction and conclusion usually are very dependent on your body paragraphs. Yeah, they just reflect on whatever you put in your body paragraph. So like this is something you write right after, like way after you are done with your body paragraphs. So we just need to say the same idea, but like using using a couple of synonyms. Introduction. Like first of all, we need to paraphrase that, like to state the problem we're working with. Well, in the first sentence, you might want to use more synonyms because, like, this is the first impression. Uh, this is the sentence the examiner will read first. So you gotta make a good first impression. There is an opinion. Okay, that physical agility. I like that more. Here, I only use the word physical, like strength, I replace with agility. Success, I replace with successful, and that's a different word form, and that counts as a unique word. A successful sportsman. Okay, we introduced the problem. Now we need to give our own opinion. We need to give the opposite opinion, and we need to explain why our opinion is better. And this is usually a very difficult thing to do for, people who are just starting writing essays. But usually I do that this way. Okay, not a mentality. Well, maybe it works like mentality is usually. Nah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's usually the synonym for mindset. Thinking. Okay, argues sounds more formal. This essay argues that the importance of a good physique. Plays a bigger role. The reason for that Okay, now I'm struggling with synonyms. Yeah, well, then that's fine. I mean, but here I'm trying to do my best, basically, yeah. And that's why I'm spending a ton of time, much more than I would on a real test. Like, on a real test, the only thing you need is just, I mean, to come up with words that are okay. They don't have to be, like, perfect. They don't have to be best of the best. They like a couple of synonyms. If you can come up with a couple of synonyms and just like mix them, that will do usually. Lose, no, lose, losing side. That is the fact that physically stronger teams frequently find themselves on the losing side. Additionally, strength is vital in only And that should do. Okay, now what we're doing, we're trimming the parts that are bad. And like we just start our paragraph. This is the intro. In the majority, body weight and physical agility are crucial in achieving success. And that goes just at the end of this body paragraph. Now we're removing that part. Like one, we need to like what we need to break a line here. And here, that's it. And now we need a conclusion, yeah? Well, I will come up with a conclusion after I've read this whole thing, because like, you know, I need a better, like maybe I will change some of it, maybe I will change some words, maybe I will change my ideas a little bit, and I will have a better understanding how to finish the essay after I've read the whole thing. Okay, there is an opinion. Well, I mean, they did not say here that it's the only factor that determines successful. I mean, it's the most important factor, okay? Factor which determines a successful sportsman. Yeah, I like my intro. It embodies the whole essay pretty well. Are crucial for, probably, to be crucial for achieving success. In the majority, body weight and physical agility. Crucial. Crucial to achieving success. In the success of this new product. Are crucial. I mean, to, like after to, we need a subject. Crucial to whom? Or to what? But like, this is not the body weight and physical agility are crucial for, probably, for achieving success. Not sure. A bit formal. In achieving success. I mean, yeah, are essential for, like, crucial in or crucial for. I mean, and for works here, in works here, both work here. Okay. To keep a diet, right? I'm blanking on it. Very diet balanced, staple diet, diet off. To go on a diet, put on a diet. Are on a diet, we can say, right? Like, you know, sometimes when I can't find what I'm looking for in the article in Cambridge Dictionary, I go to the American section, and sometimes in the American dictionary, like they put different examples, and sometimes I can find what I was looking for there. Okay. Sportsman? Oh, more specific. Huh, athletes. Oh, we've got or sports people. Okay, okay. Well, I will stick to sportsmen, though it's a little bit old fashioned, but like okay. Like yeah, I know sports women, sports people. Like athletes. Athletes is a very good word. Keep a strict diet. Yeah, keep is fine. Uh Well, and yeah, Cambridge Dictionary does not list certain phrases, certain sentences, but like all in all, I really like the source. That's my favorite dictionary. I don't want to change it to anything else because like even if it doesn't have something, you always have ChatGPT, and like information, the way they list information here is very very comprehensive, um, very very convenient for me. For example. Keep athlete. Yeah, is usually part of any athlete's routine. Thing I don't like thinking. Why not? I mean, yeah, that is fine. I like it. This sentence probably too long. I might split it, but like, I mean, I don't care. Well, that's fine. Time at the gym. I mean, it's not that long. You know what? The thing about like how long you want your sentences to be, it really depends on your um, intuition and your level, like how you intuitively, what you intuitively feel your level is. Because I'm pretty confident about it, I can stretch it a little bit, but I never go too far. I never write too lengthy sentences. Yeah, that are just out of control. So like that is fine for me, but I know that for some people that is not recommended. For some people, it's really like sticking to short sentences is really the best advice. Mental stability. Mental stability. This is called Oxford comma, by the way. In case you didn't know. And in formal writing, it is recommended you put it before and if you have 3 and more items. Across all sports disciplines, an opponent. An opponent with a high level of motivation and determination is more likely to achieve a victory. Like, will usually achieve, that sounds not very formal. An opponent with a blah 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 is more likely to achieve a victory. An athlete. Defeat. Surprisingly, they might. More impressive physique. There are many. Well, great chess player, there is nothing wrong about that, but I'm just thinking maybe some like more formal academic word for great. For instance, there are many aspiring chess players. There are many outstanding, let's say. Let's put here. There are many outstanding. Like, in any case, that would give us a slight point, maybe. Are not in good shape physically. Mental sounds weird here. Is endurance. Its importance in its importance. Stage, yeah. Have to calculate moves under a lot of pressure. Okay. Also, soccer is a great example of a sport. Well, I like it. That's fine. In conclusion, And like I already have enough words, so like that doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah, like ideally the ideal length of an essay is around 260 300 words, I would say. um Basically I have to paraphrase this whole idea again. Like conclusions are usually for, there are many styles of writing essays. Some people prefer essays where in their introduction they don't give the answer, like they don't give their opinion. Like they're saying, okay, we'll think about that, we'll write it, we'll develop the ideas, and then after we've developed both ideas, I will come up with my opinion. And that is what conclusion is for. In these essays, conclusion is really, really important, of course. But like in our essay, we already gave our opinion right at the beginning, at the start. So like conclusion doesn't really add anything up to our essay. So we just have to restate whatever we already said. In conclusion, like again using, fancy words. Sports people, right? Oh yeah, sports people just sounds weird. Like I don't like it. And like it sounds slightly British. And I'm using the American spelling, I'm using the American dialect, and that is why I need to be consistent. If something sounds too British, I don't use it. But if you like British English, if you use the British dialect, you might use it. But I won't. Physically agile. To release the potential, yeah, there is. But I never like this phrase. To show their no potential. To achieve my full potential. To achieve. To reach the potential and to release the... Yeah, I don't like this whole thing and how it sounds. Emphasis. Okay, emphasize. Like how? Let emphasize. No. Emphasis. To place an emphasis. Emphasis. Yeah, probably that's it. Is placing a strong emphasis on developing mental traits. Dominate. Fulfill the potential. I remembered the another expression. To fully. However, to fulfill it. It can only be fulfilled if coupled with to fulfill it is to place a strong emphasis. The only way to fulfill it is to place a strong emphasis on developing mental traits, mental don't like this, but I mean that's a conclusion. I don't have to be ideal. My conclusion certainly it doesn't have to be ideal. Indeed have a potential to dominate in sports. That is fine. Physically agile. How many times did I use agile in this essay? Once? Okay. Then it's totally fine. Physically agile people indeed have a potential to dominate in sports. However, whether it will be fulfilled depends. However, whether it is fulfilled depends on however, its fulfillment depends on its fulfillment depends on whether they place a strong emphasis on developing mental traits. They place a strong emphasis on developing mental traits. That should work. I feel like it should work. However, its fulfillment, like potential, depends on whether they place a strong emphasis on developing mental traits. Depends, developing, no, different words. That should work. I already spent a ton of time on it. I don't really want to check it. Well, probably it's too overthought, overcomplicated, but I mean, okay, let's go to ChatGPT. just like that. Have that potential or just have potential? Okay. Oh yeah, the spelling, I fucked up the spelling. I mean, isn't it fulfill like that? No. Fulfill. Fulfill. Yeah, it should be like in the US spelling it's fulfill, and that's fulfillment, right? Fulfillment, yeah. A bit unclear. Slightly smoother. Well, probably, yeah, individuals. I might use individuals instead of people, right? The potential excel in sports. Yeah, dominate is probably too aggressive. I agree with that. The fulfillment of this potential and clearer references. And a clear reference. Okay. After seeing feedback from ChatGPT, you don't just copy paste it. Yeah, like you don't copy paste, just do that and copy paste it. No, you try to correct everything by yourself. And you go, physically agile individuals, because that's how you learn. Physically agile individuals indeed have a potential to excel. Yeah, excel sounds great. To excel in sport. However, have the potential to excel in sports. However, its fulfillment, yes, slightly vague. However, the fulfillment of this potential depends on whether fulfillment, right? Fulfillment, yeah. Yeah, and I'm using the US spelling. And now again. Yeah, everything is great. Okay, let's am I logged in? Okay, I will, for just in case, I will copy it. Let's try to check it. What will we score? Like, the goal is to score a 7, but I believe it should be, okay, 7.5. I was hoping for an 8, to be honest. Yeah, just like one of these criteria should be a 7.5 at least, and then we'll get our 8, right? No, both should be 7.5 here and 7.5 here, and then we'll get an 8. Okay. Okay, let's read the feedback here. I'm not sure what this thing means by that. Are fully developed. I would be happy to hear how I can improve it. I mean, really? Okay, we will fix that. We'll try to fix that at least. I'm not sure we can fix that. I have no idea how to. Well, I mean, I have some ideas. Like maybe in this paragraph we need to focus on football instead. A wide range of cohesive. Okay, well, we'll try that, but I don't think my range is not appropriate. Like I've used a ton of synonyms here, a ton of cohesive devices, like here, here. Although, I mean, even the reason for that fact, again, it's a cohesive device. For example, because, I mean, well, 7.5, like, let's face it, 7.5 is quite a high band for an essay. Yeah. A 7 is quite a high band for an essay. Yeah, like 7.5 is very, very good. Writing is the hardest part. Yeah, so I am happy with that. I'm happy with that. Like some examiners will even give you an 8 for an essay like this. But yeah, like the point here is to improve. The point here is to, like, probably, okay, let's read. A good range of, okay, like, do you really think it's a 7.0? Like, probably it's not about that range is small. Probably it's about, like, not all of them are idiomatic. To enhance the sophistication of word choice, are you fucking kidding me? Like, physically agile individuals and fulfillment of this potential place a strong emphasis on developing mental traits. And you think that's not sophisticated enough? No, I wouldn't trust that, to be honest. Explore using more precise and nuanced vocabulary to express complex ideas. Well, you know, whenever I get an 8, I'm usually happy with that, because, you know, there is no clear distinction between a band 8 and a band 9. I mean, examiners, whenever they don't have questions, they are more likely to give you a band 8, just because it's safer. Just like because giving a band 9 means, like, they can find just anything. And, I mean, like, not everybody does that. More complex construct. Okay. I cannot of a good physique this essay. There are options here, like it will give me an essay that it considers like best of the best. Maybe we'll try that. But our main goal is to try to improve, try to correct whatever is possible to correct. Really? Mental preparation? I don't think it's a big deal here. Physically? Really? Okay, let's stick to maybe here players and players. Yeah, that we might fix. For that is the fact that okay, this is yeah, I probably agree that this is because about her. This is due to the fact that, yeah, this is my favorite. This is due to the fact that okay, this is because also works. This can be attributed to the fact that, okay, I like that. The primary reason is that this can be attributed to the fact that my favorite, like this and this is due to the fact that are my favorites. So here, the reason for that okay. Okay, this, yeah, probably this sounds better here. I agree. Let's just put this here. The fact that right now, like repetition, we'll ignore it. Majority of sports. Okay, so what? What do you want me? Like, I only use it 3 times. Like I already said, sports disciplines, and here sports is different. It plays a different role. Here sports is a noun. Here it's an adjective. Yeah, tactics are, yeah, this is this I just missed. Right. This probably was a big miss, by the way. Like this is subject verb agreement. I should have noticed that. But I mean, I can't notice everything, right? Tactics of karate because you need to predict your opponents. What's wrong with that? Oh, okay, just repetition. Smart. Well, probably like repetition is fine unless it's in 2 consecutive sentences. So probably here opponent I would training at the gym because it's almost impossible to outsmart someone. A person probably just whose muscle mass is significantly large. Oh yeah. Did not notice that. That's also a big thing. But that's more like a typo. I mean, yeah, I know that a lot of, students struggle with that. A lot of students confuse then and that. But in my case, it was just a typo. But I mean, the examiner can't know that, so that's reasonable. Larger than yours. Perseverance, stamina, mental, okay. Yeah, that thing, yeah, also a typo. They might even defeat an opponent. That is interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Outperform. Okay. Okay. They might even defeat. Yeah, here, and I agree. I agree. That sounds better. Because, like, I'm just talking about just any guy with a more impressive physique than mine, right? Not the specific guy who, like, pumped up, who's so pumped up, who spent his entire life in the gym, and this particular guy will beat me. No. Yeah, that sounds awkward. Defeat an opponent. Okay. And at this stage, they usually and have to calculate blah blah blah. Soccer is a great game, is a great example of a sport. I mean, but isn't it like soccer is that's one subject for pair, and players stop is another like subject for pair. Once the opponent has scored a couple of goals. I mean, ChatGPT at this point knows what I want from it, right? So I don't need to spend time on that prompt. But sometimes you do. If it happens, I can anytime just edit the message. Unnecessary. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Yeah. Still makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there is this thing, yeah, that whenever a clause, like the information that is provided in the clause is optional, like it doesn't really tell us much, it's not really important, we can put commas. But if the information provided in the clause is very, very essential, and without it, the sentence doesn't make sense, like here, yeah, if we remove this whole clause, a sport in which players yeah, if you remove, this is what we get. Soccer is a good example of a sport. Like, without that, meaning just is lost, right? So we need it, and that's why we don't need commas here. Agreed. Also, soccer is a great example of a sport in which players often stop fighting. Okay, I just tweaked it. I wouldn't say that I rewrote it or just entirely wrote a different essay, but I made a couple of tweaks. Let's say what it says now. Really? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, task response is still 8.0. Like, what did I? Coherence and cohesion. Like, what did I? Overall clarity of the essay. Coherence and cohesion. Did I use any? Like, that probably is a cohesion issue. Yeah, because it's a cohesive device and it's used not in the best way. What else did I tweak? I mean, also like the opponent changing the opponent to an opponent was also a good idea. It's a coherence at this point, not the cohesion. Like cohesion is logical flow of your ideas. This is cohesion, yeah, because this is the connector, basically a cohesive device. Here. Or did I say? Yeah, here the opponent is a coherence coherence problem, yeah, because it misled the reader. Like the reader, it introduced an aspect that made it hard for the reader to understand it. It just confused the reader. That's why that makes sense that I improved my score in this section. But like really from 7 to 9? This part, that's a grammar problem, right? Lexical resource. Well, you know what? It somewhat makes sense. You know what? I'm pretty sure that the essay I wrote is quite good. And not even that. It is really unrealistic to write an essay like this under real exam conditions. Like when you're given only 40 minutes to think over all those arguments in your head, to think through the ideas, to write it and to check it, and then to check everything. This is really, really impossible. So I'm pretty proud of this essay, I would say. Yeah, I used a lot of words here, a lot of synonyms in this essay. And that problem, yeah, remember I told you that we're not correcting this constant mental stuff, yeah, players, physically, mentally. We will just ignore it. Well, it's because this is the smallest issue you might have in your essay, yeah? When you can't think of synonyms, I mean, that's fine. That's not that big of a deal. It's much worse when you're trying to use a synonym and it doesn't work. Yeah, like when you're trying to use, like, instead of, I don't know, like instead of sports, for example, you said sport disciplines. Yeah, and sport disciplines is just grammatically wrong. This is grammatically wrong because this is not an adjective. The adjective is sports with S at the end. Yeah, so if you are not sure, if you don't know how to write that, how to spell that appropriately, just don't put it there. Just don't write it. So yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal. I can't figure out a way to always replace mental and physical. Like, these are very difficult words to replace. You can't in 40 minutes. That's unrealistic. That I would find, a magical way to a magical synonym for those words. So, like, this is pretty decent. I wouldn't say that it's too accurate. Like, probably it's still not a 9, still not a band 9 essay, but 8.0, 8.5, why not? Another thing that is probably worth noting here is that, any mistake that you make, especially if it's a spelling. I know that sometimes we misspell words and sometimes we just make horrible typos, but that affects our score pretty like to a pretty large, to a pretty big, it has a big impact on our score, yeah? So typos should be avoided, right? Like these small mistakes, like when I misspell surprisingly, is also somewhat somewhat upsetting, I would say. But overall that's fine. Overall that's fine. The more essays you do, the more essays you write, the better you become at them. So I think we had a pretty good practice today. So everybody, thanks for watching, yeah, and like see you in the next video.